Confidential, something like that.
But
it's something innocuous anyway.
So then all I do is I go back to his early life. How was he? How's he been? The salesman thing. Gets people. Doesn't do a lot of work. Doesn't focus on anything. I definitely think there's an ADHD dyslexia thing in there that hasn't been sorted. Like going back to say about being naughty at school. It's not. You're not that person. What you're doing is you're making up for the fact I can't do the work. So I have to do everything around it, whether it's being annoying or just tell people to do stuff and walk off. I can't do any work, so I have to create things. So I think he's illiterate, and nobody's actually found out yet. So they think, he doesn't like doing stuff. He can't.
You heard it here first.
No, I genuinely think that is. Now, 5 minutes. This is the worst thing I found out about him that I didn't realise. And it's not even
Worse
funny.
Than conning his father on his deathbed.
Worse. So you ready for this?
Okay.
Don't jump to any conclusions. I'm just going to tell you what was been said, because I thought I've got to cover myself here. So there's been a lot of talk, and I didn't realise until I looked into it, about how he treats his daughter, and there's some weird thing that's going on here.
Ivanka. It's always a bit like, I date her.
The kissing on the lips. Like, he tried to kiss with his mouth open on one cheek. She had to move her face. Now, when you go back into it, these are the things that had happened. So it's only because I randomly saw a Michael Moore interview, talking to somebody. On the ET Canada. It's a video. It's about Fahrenheit 9/11. He was matching him to Hitler and said, Hitler didn't start off as Hitler. He started off. It's just that he broke down the constitution of Germany and then became Hitler. Same sort of thing. And then he said, look, talking about his daughter, he said, this man has real sexually. We know he's a sexual person. We know his sort of proclivities for whatever. He said,
hasn't he got about 20?
But everything's to do with him.
Yeah,
exactly. So he's just a sexual person. He said, if a child in. So he was in Canada, and he's Canadian, but the show's in Canada. He said by Canadian and Californian law, if he had said certain things, one of them he mentions about his daughter, you were contractually obliged to have to tell the government, like the council workers, what had been said by the child. And this is some of the things he said. Okay, so I think outside the one on the Howard Stern show, all of this is you can watch, or there's an article. Yeah. And I'm going to end on this, because this is how I think this man he's a sick human being. So this is about his daughter Ivanka, another one with an A at the end of the name. There's some things about him kissing her on the lips, and like
I hadn't seen the stuff of him kissing her on the lips.
Yeah, that was you could see it. He opens his mouth to kiss, and she sort of moves her head. So
horrid.
Because I thought what, and I looked it up. So on The View in 2016, the one where all the women sit around and talk. He said about his daughter who sat with him, if Ivanka weren't my daughter, perhaps I'd be dating her.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
And the woman actually went, that's sick, that's disgraceful.
Yeah,
and then she went, who are you, Woody Allen? And they all laughed and clapped. I thought, what are you clapping and laughing if you just heard? Anyway.
I suppose because you think like that obviously they're giving him the benefit of the doubt and just thinking, he's just saying something without really thinking about. Yeah. He's trying to give his daughter a compliment and say that she's very beautiful, and she's
a great woman. She's
fumbled
beautiful.
It. Yeah.
But what you do is you add it into the whole what's gone on before, and then it all starts to add up. On the Wendy show, I think it's Wendy Williams is the name of the talk show. Trump and Ivana were asked, and you can watch this. What they're having.
Ivana or Ivanka?
Sorry, I'm going to keep saying it. Ivanka is the daughter. Yeah. So Trump and Ivanka were sitting next to each other, were asked what they have in common. Ivanka replied, either property or golf. Donald replied to the same question, stating, quote, I was going to say sex, end quote.
I was going to say...
And she gives a funny, dirty look like, ha, 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 ha.
But what does he mean, we have sex in common?
I think they're sexual people. Shall I tell you what I think all this is? I think he's flirting with his daughter in some sick way. Because when you watch it, he meets some. He's in a business meeting. And he's meeting Miss World Scotland or something like that at the Trump thing. He's the same sort of stuff he says. He's not saying stuff directly. He just says, "Oh, you're a very sexy woman. Oh, wow, like you must have a good." He's that. And the way things come out, it is like he's flirting with his daughter. Anyway, so he said that in the Rolling Stones article 2015. He said about his daughter. Yeah, she's really something, and what a beauty that one. Quote. So, quote. Yeah, she's really something, and what a beauty that one. If I weren't married, and her father. End quote.
I feel like that should come before if I weren't married.
Oh, this isn't the top 10. I've just put this. Isn't...
I know, but that's the primary thing. Yeah, if I weren't physically, biologically related to
her, her
and
father.
Also she was single. Yeah.
And he also said on the Howard Stern show, he responded to her as being voluptuous. He said, quote, my daughter Ivanka, she's almost 6 feet tall. She's got the best body, end quote. Now, bearing in mind, this
I
is
mean,
all
dads are quite, dads will say
he said,
their daughters are beautiful,
no,
but
no.
not, I don't think I've
voluptuous
ever heard
sex.
about. Yeah,
If I wasn't married,
that's
trying
very
to kiss on the mouth.
troubling.
He said in
I think.
another thing, I didn't write it down.
If she had a sex tape, I'd totally watch it. Yeah.
He said basically he was on a show, I think it was the Dr. Oz show, and Ivanka came out and he kissed her, and the guy said, Dr. Oz said, "Oh, like it's nice to see a father kissing a daughter," and he said, "I tried to kiss her whenever every chance I get." Now, but the thing now what I'm saying is, you add all that up.
I don't. It's weird when they're older. Like my brother's got a son, and he loves
again,
to
you're
get
grabbing at straws,
but he's like 3.
Yeah.
And he loves to get like a kiss off him, and doesn't often.
But you don't say when I'm married.
But it's also not at every opportunity. He's not just constantly going.
And you look at some of the videos, and he's constantly say his hands are always a bit too low around her hips.
But he's just. But I mean, I think it's safe to say that obviously, he's gone after. I think there was something like 20 women have said he's inappropriate in the way he said it. So he's obviously a. He's not. I don't think beyond the obviously the pussy grabbing thing, and beyond that, I don't think he's not been accused of rape, has he?
I think